In the automotive world, there are names that go beyond mere labels of engineering. Names that are attached to history, elegance, and purpose. Aston Martin is one of them. Born in 1913, the marque was raised on the racetrack and the red carpet, being the chosen form of transport for royals, rebels, and secret agents.
James Bond.
But Aston Martin isn't just a brand. The icon's esteemed heritage of sovereignty has resisted the trends of modern styling, where ostentatious lines and plastic are in abundance. Today, we are lucky enough to be handed the keys to the all-new Aston Martin DB12 Volante, thanks to Aston Martin Adelaide. Join us as we see how the legacy of Aston Martin has stood the test of time. Wow, this is it. What a beauty.
To gain a background insight into the DB12, we caught up with Aston Martin Adelaide sales specialist James Hudstaff.
Thank you for having us here today, James.
Thanks very much for coming along, Harry, and welcome to Adelaide Aston Martin.
Now, James, you've sold many iconic models here at Aston Martin Adelaide, but what makes the DB12 so special in comparison to the Vantage and the DB11?
Yeah, great question, Harry. So the DB12 is our first Super Tourer. So it's a 2+2 scenario where our Vantage is a 2-seater sports car, and DB12 is our first Super Tourer in our segment, so branching out of the GT segment. So it's built around the driver, but also built for long distance driving as well, which separates us from our competitors.
So it's not just about speed and luxury, it's something much deeper than that.
So with the DB12, it certainly is a lot more than just the outside of the car and the inside. So when you're buying an Aston Martin, you also buy into the family, back into when we were first established as well. So what separates us against our competitors is certainly our attention to detail. So when we are painting a car like our DB12, it takes around about 70 hours to hand paint one of our vehicles, and takes around about 50 hours just to build the engine as well. So it's certainly something a little bit more different than just power and luxury as well.
Yeah, wow. So it certainly does look phenomenal sitting here on the dealership floor, but a car like this deserves to be out on the open road. What do you say? Let's take it out?
Of course, Eric. Here's the keys. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Beneath that long, sculpted bonnet, a 4-litre twin-turbo V8, hand-built by Mercedes-AMG and tuned by Aston Martin to produce 671 horsepower and 800 Nm of torque. That's a 34% increase over the outgoing DB11 Volante's output, enough to catapult the DB12 Volante from 0 to 100 km per hour in 3.6 seconds, with an impressive top speed of 325 km per hour. To go along with these numbers, a symphony that sings loud with the roof down. With these types of statistics, it would be fair to assume that an intimidating and brutish attitude comes along with it. But with the DB12 Volante, this couldn't be further from the truth. It's not just fast, it's composed, focused. A chassis tuned not for chaos, but for clarity.
But whilst having rapid acceleration and a balanced chassis are great characteristics to hold, were they really the primary focus of Aston Martin when they produced this machine? I don't think so.
It's made to be simply beautiful. By all means, Aston Martin certainly did succeed in that aspect. Just look at it. Every angle is eloquent, flowing from panel to panel.
In this day and age, it's really hard to find a new car that retains such classical beauty like this. The ludicrous power within the DB12 Volante is only there to prove its self-proclaimed title as a Super Tourer. It really does redefine and reshape as a new evolution of what was once called a touring car.
Whilst the DB12 Coupe is an outstanding machine in its own right, there's just something about convertibles. In a lot of instances, when transforming a coupe into a convertible, many sacrifices come with feeling the wind in your hair. Luckily, in the Volante, this is not the case. The soft top roof is retractable in 14 seconds and can be done so in speeds up to 50 km per hour, ensuring the concept isn't an annoyance.
What sets the DB12 Volante aside from its pure performance-oriented rivals is its sense of purpose. This isn't a track toy or a point and squirt supercar. It's something much more than that. The open top experience adds a layer of connection between driver, machine and road. From the smell of the countryside, to the warmth of the sun on your head, to the noise and the smells of the exhaust as it reverberates through the valley. None of this is available to be achieved through a closed top car. It invites you to slow down, to appreciate the rhythm of the road. But if you dare, it can tear up the tarmac with a ferocity that rivals any mid-engine supercar. Inside, the DB12 blends craftsmanship with cutting-edge tech, two attributes that have become synonymous with the Aston Martin brand.
The hand-stitched leather upholstery, carbon fibre trim and extensive options make the cabin feel uniquely personal. Aston Martin's new infotainment system, a vast improvement over previous iterations, features a 10.25-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The 15-speaker Bowens & Wilkins audio system is a highlight, but who needs music when you have this?
The Aston Martin DB12 Volante is an open-air masterpiece. It's a statement of intent, not just from Aston Martin, but from anyone who chooses to own this car. It dares to blend performance with luxury, elegance with aggression, and tradition with innovation, and does so without compromise. Sure, there's other cars on the market which are more track-focused, but they're borderline unusable, and who wants that? The DB12 Volante threads the needle into a category which didn't even exist before it. For those who want beauty and speed with the wind in their hair and leather at the fingertips, the DB12 is the perfect choice, and it is an intoxicating experience.